What's the weirdest YouTube video you've ever seen? From There's Nothing to Obey the Walrus to even Body of a Pig, we all have that one video that we'll never forget for just how strange it was. And odds are a lot of them are a part of the early wave of YouTube horror that we all know and love that gave us things like creepypastas and alike. And see, I told you guys that we would be getting back to some of the older series here. For those who haven't seen the other two volumes, essentially I look at a lot of the weird YouTube horror videos you may remember from over the years. For example, in the past two videos, we looked at videos like Username 666 and I Feel Fantastic. So if you know those videos, you know exactly what type of video I'm talking about. I then give them a final score, so if you want to know what I think about a lot of these other videos that aren't on here, go check out the other two parts. It will be in the description below, but enough yapping, let's get into the video. Okay, so Obey the Walrus doesn't really have any meaning or story behind it. Instead, it's just a rapid-fire series of disturbing imagery with an ear-piercingly loud children's song playing in the background. Although I'm not entirely sure what. It then cuts to footage of Sandra Crisp, a victim of polio, walking around, before finally it cuts to a photo of a walrus. And before getting into my quite obvious opinions on this video, the description of this video is also a part of a story, reading Obey It. Obey the Walrus, known in Spanish as Obedece la Morsa, probably horrible pronunciation, I'm sorry, is a video that was allegedly created by a Latin American cult known as La Morsa, the Walrus. And it is said that bad things happen after watching the video. And that is Obey the Walrus, and I don't have much to say besides the fact that I find this video to be extremely lame. First off, this is one of my least favorite forms of early YouTube horror, and that I'm sure that we'll get to a lot of soon. That of course being the shock video, where what made the video scary for the majority of the people viewing it wasn't because of something actually scary, but rather it was because of the shocking video with extremely loud noises that caught you off guard more than anything. Usually they come in the form of screamers, which we'll of course get to later, but this was one of the other variations that was extremely common at the time. It tries to seem cursed, similar to something like the videotape from The Ring, and while I understand what it's trying to do, I just never have really found these types of videos that interesting. There's nothing to read into here, it's just surface layer shock value and that's it. Which there's nothing wrong with, but I just personally find them to be monotonous, especially after seeing similar things over and over again. It's the type of videos that things like Agamemnon Counterpart from the last part were actively mocking, as it was quite literally everywhere. However, these are all personal gripes mainly. It does what it sets out to do and does it well, and even if it doesn't always work. It doesn't have any huge technical issues, although I think the walrus abruptly at the end usually gives me the exact opposite of its intended reaction. Speaking of, I always find it funny when I read how people describe this video as having an off-putting feel when the walrus appears on screen. For me, I just find it funny, I'm sorry, but just slapping an image of a walrus at the end isn't going to have me screaming like I saw the scariest shit I've ever seen. Instead, it just always makes me laugh. I don't understand, but you do you, I guess. Also, the story about it being from a cult is of course 100% false. There's no walrus worshipping cult in Latin America, at least that I know of, and if there are, then they certainly didn't make this. This is a goofy little creepypasta that got spread everywhere, even to the point where I remember people used to show it with that as pretext to try and make it scarier. But just like the video itself, it's too vague to really infer anything, which just leaves the whole video to be a bit confusing for me. Am I supposed to be scared of the singing Andros or that goofy walrus picture, or is this just some sort of weird shit post? I don't know, it's too vague to really understand. Also, I find the usage of a polio victim as the scare to be a bit wrong, but oh well. These cursed videos are some of my least favorite types of videos from this era, but this is extremely average for this point in time. Hell, there were whole genres of YouTube where they would rank these kind of videos. Wait, but for my score, I don't find shock imagery with some loud music that interesting, so it's not anywhere near a high score, but I don't hate it either, I just don't find it that gripping. It's honestly perfectly average and is more of what I expected when I started this series early last year. Been a bit surprised by just how much quality we have gotten so far. This feels almost like an early version of like what Urban Spook does with analog horror, where it's just like shock imagery after shock imagery and that's it. So when giving a score, I would have to give it a solid 5 out of 10. It's nothing special, but if you're looking for a cheap little scare, it may be worth your time. Remember, for me a 5 is not a bad score, it just means it's average and didn't really do much for me, which this video most certainly is the epitome of. However, you may enjoy this one more or less, so go check it out. I have all the videos linked down below, but that makes me wonder if the next one will be any better. Okay, and before getting into this one, make sure if you haven't already to like and subscribe to the channel if you want to watch bi-weekly videos related to anything horror. If you really enjoyed it, you could hit the hype button, which is a newish feature that YouTube rolled out that helps the channel. But enough of me begging, let's begin. The original Uncanny Valley face video, and while this video is a bit of a doozy. So when I found this video the first time, I felt such a gut punch that I had to turn the video off. Granted, I was much younger than I am now, but for me when it comes to the Uncanny Valley, this one just hit me hard. And the more you dig into it, the more disturbing the video becomes, as every layer of it is just so disturbing that it makes it even worse the more you know about it. Mild cognito hazard, but if you want to know the full story about why this video is considered as dark as it is, I included Lazy Masquerade's short doc on it. Go check it out. In short, the image is a lady who was murdered being put through an animation software, with the song in the background being a song that is making fun of a victim of fear. But that aside, just looking at it on its own, it's got such an unnerving feeling to it that I just cannot fully describe. The way it moves has always been so off-putting to me, as the face looks almost lifeless, but it's moving in a way that seems wrong. That combined with the abrasive noise music that blasts in the background, this has got to be one of the most unapologetic of early YouTube. And with the background behind the image, it just makes you feel absolutely disgusting while watching it, and compared to a lot of the others here, I actually have a memory that goes along with this one. I remember late one night I was doing homework when my friend sent me a zipped GIF, and I opened it up while in my pitch black room, and it genuinely startled me so bad that I had to take a little break for a little while. And I still don't know why this GIF has always made me as uncomfortable as it has, but it's just always been that way. You guys can make fun of me all you want, as I know a lot of people actually find this one to be funny, but for me this one has just always been way too much. However, when considering the morality behind it, I just cannot give it a good score, as the creator of it has to be somewhat sick in the head to think of it, especially given the context behind the music and the image, but oh well. It's weird because of just how bare bones it is, but it's just so effective to me that I have to say I don't know really how to review it. It's a super off-putting GIF, and I just cannot give it a high score for how simple it is and the morality behind it, but I really can't give it a score at all, so it will have to be my first ever unreviewable. There's just too much behind this GIF for me to actually give a review score, so I honestly just can't give it one. Hopefully the next one will be a little bit better. Another one that makes me feel gross talking about it, but here goes. And also for those of you who can't really tell, I really don't really like talking about true crime really at all. It's always been something that's made me feel uncomfortable, especially talking about real people's lives that have been affected. But I do feel like it still is important to talk about these videos, as they were very influential in the early YouTube horror space, even if they were true crime related. So discussing these is something that needs to be done, so let's get right into it. Happy Anniversary was originally released by the channel 112 Dirtbag, and in the video he just laughs for about 40 seconds before abruptly stopping and winking. It then cuts to a message saying happy anniversary, and there's a lot to unpack here. So we're going to delve into a bit of true crime here again, so let's go. Maura Murray was a 21-year-old college student at UMass Amherst who disappeared after the police found her car on the side of the road. Even stranger was that despite telling her work that there had been a death in the family, upon further investigation no such death occurred. However, police have ruled her case suspicious, which gets us right back into the video. When Maura went missing, her car was found on Route 112, and something might have just hit some of you, but I'll give the others a few seconds to catch up here. For those who still haven't gotten it, the channel that posted the happy anniversary video was named 112 Dirtbag. And to make things even worse, the video was released on February 8th, 2012, and although it's one day early, Maura Murray disappeared on February 9th, 2004, which seems like just a bit more than a coincidence. And as some have pointed out, the father apparently in an interview called whoever kidnapped her a dirtbag. However, he was actually investigated and was found to have no possibility of involvement and was a crazed fanatic of the case. So while you guys might still want a review score of this due to the connection to an actual disappearance in the Maura Murray case, I really cannot give this a review in good conscience. This is just some crazy lunatic online, and I'll give it my second ever unreviewable. Which, for those who have followed me, know this is crazy, but I'm sorry, there's just too much wrong with this for me personally to actually review this. I would feel sick having to write that, as it just feels morally wrong to do. Let's move on. But I do feel like it was important to review these two, as these two were very big in early YouTube, so it's just something that I have to talk about and really just kind of go over and then move on. I love this video so much. It's super simple, and due to its short length, I'll just show it here. But if you want to watch it on your own time, I'll also have them all linked down below. I don't know what I like so much about it, but the weird little creature effect has always been a favorite of mine. It's not over the top and overly long, instead just leaves you with a slightly unsettling image, and that's it, and that's all it needs to be. 8 out of 10. I know this one's a lot shorter compared to the other ones, but there really isn't much to say, it's only 30 seconds. And to end this all off, which one was your favorite? I know this one is a bit shorter than my past few, but I wanted to do a bit of a switch up to keep things a bit different from each other. Gotta keep all sides of the channel happy, you know. So I want to know which one was your favorite. Do you agree? Do you disagree? This episode, we had to deal with two subjects that I had truly no idea what to do with. For those who have followed me, you know I usually review anything, but those two I just cannot review in good faith. I can review fiction, but when it comes down to that kind of stuff, I just can't. But make sure to let me know what you guys think down below. I try to respond to everyone who comments, and with all that being said, this has been ABA Short Films, and I'll see you all soon.